The changes to the stables at Wentworth Woodhouse over the past few months have been incredible to see. And for the moment, the videos that we release on our YouTube channel and that are shown inside the house are the best way to see the works in progress while the project is underway. We've always referred to this project as Phase 1 of the stables regeneration. It's the first part of a much wider master plan for the site, which will ultimately bring the stables, the riding school and the ancillary buildings around them back into use. And after so many decades of neglect, all of the buildings here are in a serious state of disrepair. Throughout Phase 1, the design team has been managing the works to achieve as much as possible within the limitations of the funding we've secured. And we've achieved a lot. Most importantly, the structural repairs that we've undertaken have rescued a part of the Grade 1 listed stables from serious deterioration and potential loss. You only need the briefest of looks inside other parts of the stables to see just how terrible a state they're in. We've also built the extension that will house our new production kitchens, making this part of the stables fit for a new economic use. And we've removed intrusive 20th century structures, built for the Lady Mabel College of Physical Education, to reveal architectural features that have been completely hidden from view for almost 80 years. In mid-July, a very special event occurred. The scaffolding that has surrounded the kitchen extension for months as we completed the structural work was removed. As the scaffolding came down, the new building was revealed, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's particularly stunning in the morning when the sun makes the new stonework seem to glow. The huge arched windows were designed to reflect the rhythm of the arches that can now be seen at the back of the old carriage house. The tops of these were visible on the roof of the old Lady Mabel College changing rooms that had been built within what was once a large courtyard. Now that the changing rooms have been demolished, the scale and grace of the original Georgian arches is clear to see, and this is reflected wonderfully in the design of the kitchen extension. Our architects have also designed a string course into the extension, just below where the arches begin to rise. This helps the overall design flow elegantly between the back of the 18th century carriage houses, which also have this feature, and the new 21st century structures. In our June update video, we mentioned that the windows served another purpose in terms of thermal insulation, as architect Rory Chisholm explains.
We're here in front of the extension, the new extension at the stable building at Wentworth Woodhouse. The scaffold's just come down so we can see it in all its glory, and it's a good opportunity to reflect on the different treatments to the different windows that we're going to have in the stable building. So in some historic timber windows, we're going to apply a new film to improve thermal efficiency to that glass. In some opportunities, we have to put in new sash double glazed windows, which will improve thermal efficiency even more. And then to really up the sustainability credentials of the building, where we have new feature windows like you can see behind me, we'll have highest specification insulated double glazed feature windows, which will have the highest specification possible for the kitchen building, which will be inserted into the extension you can see here.
Not all of the works included in Phase 1 are exclusively for the production kitchens or the stables cafe. Phase 1 has also helped to make the wider site ready for future phases of work. This will support the gradual delivery of the master plan as and when new funding is secured for each phase. A good example of this is the drainage works we've undertaken and the cabling that is being laid and connected up to the electricity substation.
Another job that has taken place recently is the installation of the electrical cables that will feed power to the kitchens. These cables are supplied on large drums, and you can see here that this drum weighs in at over 1,700 kilograms. The cables are pulled from the kitchen area to the incoming substation by a large winch, which is capable of pulling 3,000 kilograms. Before the cables can be pulled into place, however, a steel hawser has to be pulled out by hand from the winch to the cable drum. While this is being done, a sleeve is placed over the end of the cable and secured by rope and wire fastenings. As tension is applied, the sleeve contracts and then further grips the cable. The team carefully control the operation and are in radio communication with the winch operator. The cable first passes under the foundation of the stable's wall before making its way along a trench over 100 metres long. Before this job was undertaken, we'd experienced sustained heavy rain, and this didn't help. The rollers that the team used to guide the cable could not be securely anchored into the ground and were being pulled over constantly. As the end of the cable nears the building that will house the substation, it passes under an access road and is then manually fed into the building. This will be fitted out in due course and then connected to the national grid.
A really important part of this project is future thinking and making sure that we're facilitating the master plan for the wider site and the wider stables project here. So what you can see behind me, two of the things you can see behind me are the ground source heat pump and below ground drainage, which not just serve this corner of the stable block, but will also serve future projects in the rest of the stable block as well. So the ground source heat pump obviously provides efficient energy for the building. In and of itself, it's a sustainable technology, but by producing a piece of infrastructure which will serve future parts of the building, not yet developed, we're thinking sustainably as well in terms of that long-term thinking and doing a good job that will last generations to come. So that level of sustainability is an important part of the brief for this project. The below-ground drainage is interesting in that we are tapping into a variety of existing brick culverts that were found under the ground during this project. So in order to filter rainwater from these buildings behind me into the existing brick culvert system, we've laid attenuation tanks in the ground which slow the rate of water and make sure that you can use those historic, slightly more fragile brick structures and carefully manage the flow of water through them so they can still be used for generations to come, even though they were laid 100 or 200 years ago. And so it's, again, that long-term master plan thinking that's you can see evidence of in the ground here.
The interior spaces affected by the Phase 1 works are looking much more like usable areas, as stud partitions and first fix electrical wiring is installed. Future phases of work will include the fitting out of the production kitchens and the area that will become the new stables cafe. On the first floor above the production kitchens, one of the key design features of the interior can be clearly seen. This will become a long corridor, off which there will be toilets. The corridor will showcase the original Georgian exterior wall with its arches and characterful stonework, bringing visitors to this new extension into direct contact with the 18th century craftsmanship. The Phase 1 works are on track to be completed in the autumn of 2024. Make sure that you don't miss a new video release by subscribing to our channel, and please leave us a comment in the section below.